this is Meredith with the Cedar Rapids Public Library. I'm here to help all you patrons out there that are maybe looking to change fields, looking for a job, by scouring some resources to let you know kind of what to expect if you're entering a new field, or if you're returning to the workforce, or trying to figure out what's going to make you the most relevant and marketable as you fill out your resumes and your cover letters and all those applications. It's a really interesting time that we're in right now, and I think a lot of people are making transitions that they didn't necessarily plan on. And so, in a world where things are ever changing, let's see how we can change with them. I don't think anyone can dispute that 2020 has been a remarkable year. The global pandemic has obviously affected the workforce, completely halted some industries, changed the way that people physically work and communicate, and some of those changes will resolve themselves back to a normal, and some of those things that have changed are here to stay, and kind of integrating those into your landscape of what the workforce looks like now, and being able to really kind of practice some soft skills that go along with that are going to be really helpful for your next step, your next best job. Also, I think just keeping in mind that a lot of industry has changed because of a natural disaster. That's kind of crazy to think about, all happening in one year. But then, on top of that, there's a generational shift that would have happened anyway. As baby boomers retire, Generation X leadership is coming into place. And just because those two groups grew up in such different times, their leadership styles are different. And the way that organizations are structured, their environment, their working culture is shifting too. So that's something to keep in mind as we're preparing for what the new workforce looks like. In my research, I found over and over that there are two main characteristics of what the modern workspace looks like. One, online communication and collaboration, pushed even forward by remote working during this pandemic. But that means that email's important. You might be sharing documents that are online in a cloud. Your schedule you might access from an Excel sheet that you get online. You get email notifications. You're going to be participating perhaps in Zoom meetings or team meetings where you would do video calls. You might be able to be trained by someone in an entirely different state because of a video call. So the way that we communicate but also work together has definitely changed. Also, mobility and multi-devices is an important part. We're no longer just tied to a desk, for instance, or one workspace. And the way that you use these multiple devices, whether it's, you have a phone on you and you're working at Lowe's and you can scan items on the shelf to see what's in stock, or maybe you're going to be, instead of punching a time clock, logging in on an app to record your time. Or maybe you're going to get your work schedule via a text message, not an email, not a piece of paper, but something that you have in your pocket. So that's something to keep in mind. The way that we use devices is definitely changing, and being able to be mobile and to have constant access to information is where we're headed. Some things that have to do more with the workforce culture than logistics about a workspace are that with this generational shift from baby boomers to Generation X and Y leadership, employers are looking for their employees to be independent and autonomous with the ability to work remotely. Accessibility is important, so people being able to get a hold of you and you being able to get a hold of them and work together is more important than actually being in the same space. And the workforce as well as the way that we work together, is going to be more diverse. Like, not only talking about the people that we work with and their perspectives, but also we're able to reach much larger audiences a lot of times in our work. And so thinking that, you could be interacting with somebody in a different part of our country or across the globe is something to consider too. These are now looking ahead what the landscape looks like. So knowing kind of what to expect from the new work landscape, the next question is, all right, let's talk about how I'm going to get a job and what that's going to look like. There are two skill sets, right? You might have heard this, hard skills and soft skills, that you can kind of work on or you can showcase as you are applying for jobs. And there's good news and bad news. So the difference between the two is hard skills are hard and fast. The soft skills are a little more innate and take a different kind of practice. So we can help with both. This is how. I think it really helps to talk about what soft skills are. Soft skills are seen oftentimes as deeply personal or inherent to our personalities. So for instance, they could be seen as personality traits or habits, but they really affect how we work with others. And although it seems a little overwhelming trying to, work on your personality or your personal habits, the good news is that we all have an aptitude to be good communicators and work with others. And there are ways that you can either do a training or talk to others just to work on those personal skills, those interpersonal skills, those soft skills. And here are some examples of soft skills: communication, interpersonal communication, problem solving, organizational skills, teamwork, creative thinking, dependability, accountability, and strategic thinking. I can guarantee whether you've been in the workforce for a while or you're just entering the workforce, if you've been in school, you have used all of these skills. And so, as you apply for jobs, as you read job descriptions, be thinking about the different ways that you have exemplified these soft skills, and make sure that when you're writing a cover letter or you're creating your resume, you're highlighting some of these soft skills in those documents as well. Like I said, I feel like soft skills are a little harder to learn and prepare for, but the library has this great resource by BrainFuse. It's called Job Now and Vet Now, and it's on our library's resource page. And I took a little screenshot of some of the services it has for job seekers. You'll notice that it has interview resources, live interview coaching, and interview tips, as well as some career prep and job resources, which are very helpful in practicing conversations and communicating your skills. And I think that they are really great practice for those soft skills. So not only are there, job resources and templates that you can use to apply for jobs, but also the opportunity to be in conversation and work on some of those soft skills. I feel like hard skills are a lot easier to define. Hard skills are technical knowledge, the training you do, and certifications that come along with that. Now, the library has a lot of resources that you can access to work on hard skills as well. So, as an example, also from our resource page is lynda.com. Now, this is just a little screenshot of what the front page when I log into Lynda looks like. There are so many different both skills you can learn and courses you can take. So maybe you want to learn how to do pivot tables in an Excel sheet. There's a training for that, and it could be really short. Or you can take one of these learning paths to become a network administrator or become a manager, and you can get certificates to go along with completing these trainings, and you can add that to your resume, add that to your CV, and be able to be more marketable and diverse in what you're doing. There's also the Opportunity Center, and I think this is very important to note. This is the middle of December, and things look kind of crazy. Right now, even though the library is closed to the public, the Opportunity Center is taking appointments. So please call the Opportunity Center and talk to the folks there and set up an appointment to talk about how you can further your education, get hooked up with a nearly free, if not entirely free, certification through the K-PACE program and Kirkwood's other workforce development trainings and certifications. The Opportunity Center can help with job training and placement. If you're starting your own business, they have entrepreneurial training, as well as other support for being able to get through your days. And then from Google, they have a program called Grow with Google, which is free. And there are many different parts of it. There's parts for veterans, parts for employers, but for job seekers and students, it's great. You can get certifications, you can learn basic digital skills and cloud computing skills, and you can train on IT support for free. And that's pretty great. I mean, Google makes things pretty easy if you're willing to put the time into it. So those are some resources for getting some hard skills to bolster your resume, your experience. It also shows that you're flexible and you're willing to learn by doing some of these extra trainings, which looks really great on a resume or a CV. And something to keep in mind in any job search, but especially looking forward, mindset matters. There are some things that you're going to have to let go from past work or school experiences. Accept what the new workforce looks like. Be willing to say yes. And these two next points are really important with soft skills. Be able to network, make connections, and be talking to people about either a new field, a different field, or what they do in their work. And if you can, find a mentor. Again, that's going to be really important for communicating and working on soft skills and, showing that you have some initiative as well. They're going to be very helpful, I guarantee. As always, if you have any questions, please contact us. You can give us a call at 261-READ. And although you can't visit the downtown or LAD libraries right now, unless it's to pick up your curbside holds, we have a new live chat function on our website. So if you don't feel like giving us a call, use the chat box. And it's on our homepage, there's a little live chat in green there. And go ahead and type us a message if you have any questions about what you saw here or where to find some of those resources online. We're always around between those operating hours, and we're always glad to help. So I wish you the best of luck, and for all of us here at the Cedar Rapids Public Library, thanks for watching.